So Biden has maintained there is no chance that he is stepping down. And there's obviously this war within the party on whether they should pressure him to, what form that pressure should come in, and whether it will succeed. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, apparently, according to background sources, is convinced that he will lose and has been working the phones since June 27th, weeks ago, in hopes of finding a way to ease him off the ticket. Bear in mind, she said last week, I think it was, about the cognitive tests and how both he and Trump should have public cognitive tests, it was an unexpected quote from her and perhaps indicative of the strategy that she was pursuing behind the scenes. The number of House and Senate Democrats stands at 19 that have publicly called for him to step down. And behind the scenes, those who don't want him to step down have been very vigorous. So Bernie Sanders wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying that he obviously was supporting Joe Biden and that it was done and they should move on. He said, "I will do all that I can to see that President Biden is reelected. Why? Despite my disagreements with him on particular issues, he has been the most effective president in the modern history of our country and is the strongest candidate to defeat Trump, a demagogue and pathological liar." For over 2 weeks now, the corporate media has obsessively focused on the June presidential debate and the cognitive capabilities of a man who has perhaps the most difficult and stressful job in the world. Unfortunately, too many Democrats have joined that circular firing squad. Enough. Biden may not be the ideal candidate, but he will be the candidate and should be the candidate. And with an effective campaign that speaks to the needs of working families, he will not only defeat Trump, but beat him badly. And I would love to see his notes and the secret polls that he has. Obviously, I have a great deal of respect for Bernie Sanders, but and pitching all of the opposition as being corporate media, it is not all corporate media. I would say it's not even primarily corporate media. There's a groundswell of popular support, let alone leftist media, that is pushing for this. And saying that he will beat him badly, fingers crossed, I would love it. I have not seen polls that have indicated that though.
Thanks for watching. Our audience has helped build TYT into the media giant it is today. Together, we can accomplish anything. Support our work and join us at tyt.com/team.
Yeah, so leave it to progressives in Washington to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So if you had just stayed as critics of Joe Biden and his corporate policies, right now you'd be vindicated. But instead, in this topsy-turvy world, Nancy Pelosi's trying to drive him out, and Bernie Sanders and AOC are trying to keep him in. Now, when Biden is a debacle and a disaster, progressives are gonna get blamed. How did you find a way to get blamed for a corporate Democrat losing? I mean, it didn't seem possible in this election. You get blamed for it in every election, but in this case, you had it coming. But I wanna be super clear. Bernie Sanders and AOC have it coming in terms of getting blamed for this preposterous strategy. Here we go again of trust Biden. That's how you got into this mess in the first place. But I don't want any progressive voters that are blamed, because progressive voters do not agree with Bernie Sanders or AOC. Show me one poll of progressives saying, yeah, we want Joe Biden. You won't be able to find that poll. That poll doesn't exist. So, and look, I'll say it, I don't care. We're way more connected to the base than politicians in Washington, including Bernie and AOC. And so I don't see any groundswell from progressives going, oh my God, I love Joe Biden. Boy, I would really, really love it if he were the nominee, and I think he's young and vibrant. That is zero, does not exist, okay? So I know you, like they're trying to get a deal, I got it. They're finally trying to use their leverage. And I wanted them to use their leverage, but brother, it's too late. You should have done that during Build Back Better negotiations. In fact, you should have done it during the COVID relief bill on $15 minimum wage. There's a time to use your leverage. But now you're getting a bunch of false promises. You know one of the promises that Biden gave him in order to get this ringing endorsement op-ed? $15 minimum wage. Come on, Bernie, you're gonna fall for it again? So you're gonna let them pull the ball on you one more time. What was the first thing that Joe Biden threw under the bus when he became president? $15 minimum wage. Now you think that you're negotiating for that, and hence you're gonna stick your neck out and argue for the guy who's definitely gonna lose and definitely shouldn't be running. It's a disastrous strategy, and progressives do not agree.
Yeah, it seems like they'll get that deal just in time for him to have absolutely no power to actually act on it. On the other hand, if they end up being right, master coup right here. but it's not gonna happen.
No, but even then, even if they were right, Joe Biden wouldn't give him anything he wants anyway. So it's totally pointless.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.